G'day guys and girls, welcome back to Sidequest Gaming, where we take a look at both old games and new to try and uncover some of those little hidden gems you might want to give a crack and try out for yourself. Today we're taking a look at a title called Expeditions Viking. This is a fantastic and very underrated title that kind of gets missed by a lot of us when we're, searching for new games. At the moment it is at a pretty steep discount because there is a THQ Nordic sale on at the moment, and there will be a link below to it. But Expeditions Vikings is kind of an alternate history of England and Europe, and it is very much a tactical turn-based RPG with a heavy emphasis, surprisingly, on the RPG elements of kind of leading your own Viking clan throughout history and shaping the world as that happens. We're going to dive in for about 20 to 30 minutes gameplay. As always, I will give a bit of a wrap up of my thoughts, feelings and impressions at the end of the game. Let's dive in. We're going to go for normal difficulty, and we'll go normal. Now, right out of the bat, we get to create our character in true RPG fashion. We always are going to want purple purple and green seems like a good color combination. Maybe with white as one of our. We look ridiculous. I love it. We're going to go for who's a nice big beardy boy. So many choices. Let's go with the big black beard here. And so that means we need nice black hair. And we're going to random some names here. We are going to go with Nefstein Thorful. I can't pronounce it, so that's even better. Brilliant. And should we go? We're going to be a large boy. We are not going to be shaven. That is not true. We are going to be scarred. That sounds good. And we have a bushy beard. Do we want? A thick braided beard. That matches our picture. I like that. Pulled back hair. Yeah, that seems about right. Fur-lined coat. Tunic. Let's go with fur-lined. We're a Viking. With heavy sleeves and wrappings. With boots, probably, right? Yeah, boots. Done. We have our Viking boy. Let's go. And now we've got to get our skills. So, over here, we have our different skills that we can select throughout the game. We have 50 skill points and 4 stat points. Now, it's an interesting little kind of skill system in this game where we have kind of offensive combat, we have defense, we have weapons, we have offensive, we have support skills, kind of like leadership-y sort of skills where we can buff our troops and things like that. We have utility. Utility skills get quite often used in between combat where like kind of a camp and it's stuff how we get supplies through hunting or defense of our base, or we get to like repair equipment, things like that. And we have passive skills that kind of like these kind of like your all-rounder skills. Like for example, grants plus 30% melee damage when hit points are below 20%. So they're almost like perks in a way. A lot of these skills will be dependent upon stats we have over here, and they will also have checks within the game in like dialogue and things like that, depending on how we build. So, for example, for our combat, and you do want to make sure your character has a combat focus because this game is very, very heavily combat focused. We can have shield skills, we can have knife, we can have Dane axe, which is your big like two-handed axe. You can have just normal axe, we can have bow, we can have sling, spear, unarmed, and sword. I think I like the idea of being a swordsman, and it is determined by our finesse. So we're going to go up finesse over there, and we're going to go for our 2 into our spearmanship. Now we've hit a cap where we need to have had 100 skill points spent somewhere to go up any further, so we can't do anything there. So let's go up again in finesse and strength, endurance, perception, and sense. Sense is kind of mental, so it's for like witches and scalds and support, but it can also be used for persuasion. So we're going to go finesse and speech. Well, sense. So, and then we'll go for our leaderships, our kind of support skills. Well, we are the leader of our tribe, so let's go leadership. There we go, and we've got 20 points left to spend. We could go for a bit of healing. That's not bad. Gelder, which lets us use war cries. What do we want? Well, we don't have perception for the spot traps. We could go taunt. Witchcraft converts herbs. We could look at some of these. Maybe we go evade for a passive. That's not a bad idea. Flanking. Oh, let's go dodge. Let's just kind of give us some kind of survivability. And bloodthirsty. Cool. Use most of our points. Done. Yep. We can spend the last skill point at another point.
Your father was a great warrior and a good husband, but he was not a strong chieftain to his clan. As he travels to join his brothers in the halls of Valhalla, you must take his place. Our clan is beset by petty squabbles. Some amongst our people would contest your claim to leadership, as they saw discord our neighbors plot against us. Gather your most trusted clansmen. Together you will face dangers which none can predict. You will be challenged on your leadership, your resolve, your wisdom. Build a ship and take your housecarls across the sea. Power and strength for our clan must be sought outside the Norse lands. If you show yourself to be bold, the gods will follow you into battle. Your legacy will live for 1,000 years beyond your time. Our clan must prevail.
Okay, we must prevail. Aid me, Odin, in my effort to bind the struggles of a bygone time as glimmering light on glass. Alright. It is the evening after your father's funeral. When you close your eyes, the image of his blazing ship shimmers in the dark behind your eyelids. It is not a common ritual this far south, but your mother, Astrida, who hails from the lands of the Gates, insisted on it. As all the thanes of the neighbouring clans have come to attend your feast in his honour, your father may not have been the most successful thane, but as a warrior he commanded the respect of many. The guests are filing into your your longhouse. The thanes enter first, each trailing a modest group of warriors. Your mother leans in to whisper a few words of advice before she takes her seat. Astrida, you should greet each of the thanes before the feast begins, but listen well to their words. Few of them would benefit from making this a smooth transition. It will be important to know where they stand. Alright. Mum's given us some advice to go talk to everyone. This is our longhouse, so it's after our father's funeral, and everyone's come out here, and a lot of them want to take his seat. So let's start having a chat to some people. So let's talk to Ragnahidia. We're just going to call him Rags. Rags the White. Rags the White is the most influential of your guests. As the vassal of King Sigurd Hirdir, she is the current ruler of Denmark. She has come from the trade hub of Ribe to the south, where she presides as Jarl. She nods politely as you approach her seat. It was a beautiful ceremony. I extend my condolences for your loss on behalf of Ribe and the king. I must tell you, I advised him not to seek out the isle across the sea. We've all heard the stories of unprotected coasts and their treasures, but there is more danger than the rumors let on. I'm not surprised they claimed his life, but I am glad at least he died with a sword in his hand. So, we can ask whether she knew our father well. We can thank her for accepting the invitation, and we're honoured that she could make it, and we can say that we were hoping the king would attend, or we can just kind of keep going. Let's ask if she knew Dad well. I knew him as a warrior. We fought together on the Bravelier, and he struck me as a shrewd tactician. When your king needs you, I hope that you will serve him as well as your father did. Okay, We can say, I will serve, you have my word. My father taught me everything he knew about combat. My warriors and I can fight for whoever can offer the best reward. We're mercenaries. We can say, I see no reason why I should fight for him. Let's just kind of be a bit vague and say that he taught us everything he knew about combat. She nods once. I would expect nothing less of the man, but remember that no amount of practice is substitute for actual experience. Let's thank her for attending, and we are honoured. Of course, your father's sword will be missed in our struggles against the Franks, and our reputation went up by one with her. Great. Let's ask her to excuse us, and let's go talk to the others. She smiles, she gracefully slides back down into her seat, whereupon she spears a large piece of chicken with her knife and dumps it onto her plate. Okay, that's one down. What about... Let's go talk to School Skull Cleaver. There's a lot of skulls in his name. Skull is the thing of Jelling, which borders your area. Jelling is a large territory, and Skull is one of the most powerful things in Jutland. Jelling has prospered under his rule. Skull pushes himself away from the table with his foot, the chair making a grinding sound across the wooden floor. His face shows earnest sympathy. My boy, so sorry about your father. If there's anything the people of Jelling can do to aid you in your trying times, don't hesitate to ask. That's very kind of you, Thang. Or we can say thank you will be fine. Let's just say it's very kind of you. Of course, we must all stand together against this Frankish threat. He leans towards you, resting his elbow on the table. Tell me, what are your plans for this place? How will you lead your clan? We can say, that is my business. It's too soon. I'll start by expanding our defenses. We need a ship, first of all. We need the favour of the gods, or I will be attentive Thane, starting by building a folk moot. He seems like he's pretty keen on defenses, right? So let's go, I'll start by expanding our defenses. You really are your father's son, aren't you? Just take care not to lose touch of your people's needs in your eagerness to defend them. Okay, so maybe that was a wrong one. I'm sure you know I fought with your father many years ago. We were very much of a similar inclination, he and I. That man had a real taste for battle, not like his brothers. Mark my words, he was true bonds are forged in battle, not bound in blood. He came to me for advice before he mounted his last journey. On account of my ties to Kupang, I should have warned him better about what he was getting himself into. Can I ask what Kupang has to do with it? We can say he knew what he was doing, and we can say he should have stayed here, or we can just remain silent. Let's ask about Kupang. Vikings out of Kupang have been to the isles across the sea. I've heard many stories about it, since I often go there to trade. Your father wanted to hear if the stories were true. But I've taken too much of your time already. I know you have other guests to entertain. Perhaps we will talk later, after a bit more mead. Skull nods to himself more than to you and turns his attention to the food on the table. Okay. What about Halfdana Samuelson? Let's talk to him. Turn the camera so I can actually select him. There we go. Hafta is the Thane of a slightly larger clan that borders your lands to the east. He wears a solemn expression and nods heavily when you approach him. Thorfur is in Valhall now, Nefston. There's no doubt about it. He died doing what he loved. But while he feasts among the heroes, you're left back here to sort out the pieces. You've got your work cut out for you. We can say you speak ill of my father at his own funeral feast, or we can ask him what he means. Let's ask him what he means. Let's not be mean. Your father managed to make quite a few enemies in his time, most of them among his own clan. If you permit me to be honest, he never paid one speck of attention to the wishes or needs of his people. Surely you're not expecting your claim to leadership to go uncontested. I say I'm the rightful Thane, and if anyone thinks otherwise, we'll sort it out in the traditional way. We can say we'll win over anyone who disagrees, or we can say it's going to be difficult. Let's just say the first one. I'm the rightful Thane. Good. Worse problems than this have been solved at the tip of a spear or the edge of a blade. May the gods favour you if it comes to that. Hafner dinner empties his mead in a single gulp, then slams the mug onto the table and calls to a thrall for a refill. Okay, we've spoke to the Thanes. There's a bunch of people here let's talk to Rurik. Your elder brother, Rurik, always had a penchant for music. He looks up and gives you a warm smile as you approach. Got quelled, brother. Rurik grins. I mean, my honored Thane. How do you feel? I'm well. I know our father is in Valhalla now. I'm fine, Rurik. How about yourself? I don't think it's sunk in, or I can't believe the mess he's left. Let's ask about him. I'm fine, Rurik. Rurik shrugs. We can barely hear his soft voice over the din of the feast. I'm certain father is feasting with Odin now. The old man will surely be more at home in Valhalla than he was here. How's everyone been treating you? Everyone knows you are the better warrior, and a stronger-willed man than I. Nobody wants me as their thane. To tell you the truth, I think our clansmen are almost as relieved as I am that you took on the mantle. I have to go and be a good host. I'll talk to you later. Sorry, bro. Your brother flashes you a cheeky grin. Just use the old signal if you need help to get out of the conversation with one of the other Thanes. Alright, what about Kettle?
Busy entertaining your guests?
Alright, Kettle is voice acted. Kettle is standing off to a side, holding a horn full of mead. The young hunter appears to be watching the feast with a faintly amused expression, and he nods respectfully as you come near. Okay, we can say as busy as you'd expect, or not too busy to check in on you. We're going to say not too busy to check in on you. He shifts his weight restlessly. I've had an uneasy feeling all night. Have you seen Huskals over in the corner? Hrodgar and Skaki. I've heard stories about them. Nefja seems to be expecting trouble too, so I've decided to go easy on the mead and keep an eye out. I appreciate that. It never hurts to be careful. He throws his head back slightly towards Aslifia. Aslifia. We'll call her Aslifia. Speaking of which, keep an eye on that big lug over there. He and his friends have been putting their heads together all night. I think they might be planning something. Aslifia is family. He wouldn't attack me, or I'll keep an eye on him. I'll say I'll keep an eye on him. Leave the watch to me. This is your feast. You should relax and enjoy yourself. I'll alert you if something happens. Good man. Alright, let's talk to Aslifia. See what he's got to say for himself. Aslifia is a distant cousin. Leadership of the clan has moved between your side of the family and his for generations. He's known as a skilled warrior and a hard worker. Aslifia sits with his two closest friends.
Our condolences on the passing of your father. At least he died the way he would have wanted. He will be feasting with the gods tonight.
Thank you. I hope there's no bad blood between us. There's no need for pretense. You've never respected my father. I will not ask that you begin now. Let's say I hope there's no bad blood between us. He seems to consider this for a while before replying. It is no secret I didn't agree with how your father ruled our clan. Bearing this in mind, I don't see what gives you the right to succeed him. But this feast is in his honor, and I will not insult his memory here, nor will I challenge your claim to leadership. We can ask if he believes he'll be more suited. Let's do that. He looks you directly in the eyes. I do. Because my father failed you? It is not our way to let leadership simply pass from father to son. If we were to become a strong clan again, we must appoint the best warrior as Thane. You are not the strongest of us, merely the less weak of your father's children. If you believe the gods favor you in this, I hope you will get the chance to prove it. But I will not simply wait for your father, for you to falter and bring the whole clan to ruin. You are wrong, and I hope you will give me a chance to prove it. He nods once, then returns his attention to his companions. Okay, last person we should talk to before we commence the feast over here. We're going to talk to Nefja.
There you are. The feast seems to be off to a good start.
Nefja is one of your oldest friends. Your families have always been close and you grew up together in the village. She's just finished pouring your mother a mug of mead. It's nice to see you out of your armor for once. She snorts sarcastically. You've seen my sister in this dress before. Surely that's the same thing. She closes her eyes and rubs the bridge of her nose with a finger. God, she was so excited to see me like this. I'll never hear the end of it. Where is she? Let's ask where she is. My poor sister has a fever again. She has such a frail constitution. All this wet and cold is hard on her. Mother stayed home to care for her. What do you think of our guests? Your fellow Thanes are certainly proud and graceful, a proud and graceful bunch, even as they plot to murder you and take our lands. You think that poorly of them? Oh, I'm sure not all of them are actively planning to kill us. I have a weird feeling about Skull, though. I doubt they'll call him a skull cleaver for no reason. Hafdener plays the role of a lovable old grump, but I know he's had his eyes on our harbour for years. Rags, I'm not sure about. She probably has nothing to gain from destroying us, but she's little more than Sigurd Hring's appendage, and who knows where he stands. Let's talk later. I have to be a good host. Good luck, and watch your back. Alright, let's sit on down. Following the initial meet and greet, everyone toasts to your father and digs into their meal. Food covers every inch of the table, and the freshly brewed mead seems to flow endlessly. We received a mead. You're listening to Nefja's usual complaints about her mother when Kettle perks up and slips discreetly out of the longhouse. Outside, some piece of pottery crashes against the ground, and men begin to shout. In short order, the door flies open and the doorway is filled by Ottar Erlingsson, sword in hand. Outside, you see his brothers standing over the prone form of Kettle. Ottar looks around the room with disgust. What a splendid feast for such a shit thane! Ottar's gaze stops on you. He raises his sword to point at you accusingly. Nefstein, your family had its chance to earn our respect and you wasted it. Come outside and defend your honor, or we will burn this hall to the ground. Nefja jumps to her feet, already holding a knife. Her voice seethes with disgust. Ottar, you miserable drunkard, how dare you attack the Thane's honor during his own feast? Your family will pay for this. Ottar has turned his back on you and is already walking back outside. All the other guests turn their gazes to you in anticipation. Your mother leans to whisper into your ear. You have to handle this. If the other Thanes think we're too weak to deal with such a blow against our family's honor. Alright. Nefja, stay here. We can either say that she's with us or we can say that we'll handle them. We'll tell her to stay here. We'll handle them. She shakes her head. The drunken fool is here for a fight. I think we'll actually have to kill him this time. Alright. Let's go kill someone. We've got Nefja there. Is there any... I'm trying to see if there's any... Yep, so there's weapon rack here. Okay, let's grab all this and let's equip it. Let's go to our inventory and let's start putting some things on. So we're going to equip our heirloom spear and a shield over here and our old bow. We can't rock the shield while we're rocking the spear because it's two-handed. That is a-okay. Yep. And what's she got? She's got a simple spear and a knife. I could give her the shield for the knife, but no, I can't do that at this point. Cool. And I don't have any armor or anything like that. Alright, out we go. Let's go kill. Most of the guests follow you outside and form a half circle behind you. You're dimly aware of the other Thanes muttering among themselves. Nefja runs over to Kettle to help him back on his feet. A streak of blood runs from his hair down his cheek, but it looks like he can still fight. 4 against 1. This is what the sons of Erlinger Thoringson consider a fair fight. Ottar's brother, Toast, sneers. He sounds drunk. Shut your mouth, woman. He started it. Let's just check if Kettle's alright. Will you be alright, Kettle? It's nothing. Toss hit me like a little girl. In fact, no, I'm certain Nefja could do more damage when she was little. You snivelling little shit. Come over here and say that. Okay. We can basically try to shame them. We can try to logic them. But let's just call them all snakes and say they're going to die. Ottar shifts his weight restlessly as he regards the Thanes assembled behind you. You're outnumbered unless you want to crawl to the other Thanes for help. Elsfith steps forward and draws his weapon. You've gone too far, Ottar. There is no honor in this. I must take his side. For a moment, confusion mixes with fright in Ottar's eyes, but he quickly composes himself. Fine, we'll kill you all. Then I'll be Thane. Okay, to battle. Okay, this is the kind of tactical turn-based battle, the grid system. So we kind of have hex-based movement that we have, and really cool is that we do have like spears and things like that are to hex range sort of things. So we don't need to worry about closing in to base contact when using that kind of weapon. So it does allow for some really interesting positioning, particularly with tanking sort of stuff. Now, we can move our characters in any order. So we could look at, say, getting, which is probably what we're going to do actually. Tempted to get our sword dude in with his shield right up close first up. So let's put him up there. Let's move our bowman up there. And maybe put her there where she can hit from there. And maybe put me up there. Can I... halves the user's moves. I'm just looking at my abilities, whether I can actually stop him from moving. So halves the user moves, but allows them to move through. Okay, that's tactical move. I don't have something that's going to be able to stop a character, but what I should be able to do is, yeah, I reckon I should be able to actually kill this guy outright, I reckon. So lay down a massive hit on him and then spike him with the spear. Nice. Now I could actually move this guy, yep, into base contact there. That's good. And then spike him over the top. Got a crit on him. And do we want to try to shoot? I could try shooting this axe thrower over here who's a healer, but I reckon we just put more damage down here. So he's almost out. And we can then use a ranging shot. What this will do, it'll give us additional kind of hit chance on anyone in that range for the next few turns. So he's now spotted. End turn. Yeah, I reckon that's about all we want to do. So he's done like a war cry. That guy's stunned and he's going to shoot an arrow at us, but he missed. So we are in a very good position right now. We're going to stab him. That's one down. That activated my active. That gives me 10% extra damage. I reckon I should... yeah, I'm going to go up there with this spearman and stab him. Can we... how much damage are we going to do there? We might actually be able to take that guy out completely. Missed. That is a shame. But we can get our swordsman... no, I can't get my swordsman up there. Can get my spearman like right up close though. Yeah, that'll do. Now the circles underneath each character, it is interesting to note that they're quite stylized, but they actually depict where they're at in the movement cycle. So you can see that the green means I haven't moved them at all. If it goes yellow, I've moved them one action point, and the red means they haven't attacked yet. So for example, there, the attack, there's now no longer the red circle, and I've used that green initial action, so I've now just got one movement in the yellow sphere to go, if that makes sense. And we're going to finish him off with my... oh, maybe I won't get him with my main. We'll go over here to flank him and shoot an arrow on his backside. He's dead. Done. positioning is really important. Flanking, shooting from behind, all that matters. The combat is really strategic and it's quite fun. So he's got that existing injury from being hit over the head with the pottery in the dialogue. And that's something that will happen, is dialogue-based decisions will kill characters, they'll injure them, there'll be all kinds of things that happen there. Ottar Erlingsson lies on the frozen earth in a small pool of his own blood. His blank eyes gaze at the sky. Ottar's surviving brothers are slowly getting to their feet. None of them has any fight left in them. Nefja regards the survivors with a mixture of disdain and sadness. What do we do with them? We can let them go, we'll deal with them another day, or we can execute them. Let's execute them. The grim work does not take long. Your guests look on solemnly as the snow in front of your feast hall turns red with blood of the farmers. If any of them doubted your resolve before now they see what you are made of. Oh, just triple shank right there in the stomach. Aslefia steps forward. He looks not the least bit tired from the fight. I supported you here tonight because Ottar and his brothers were out of line. It is not the way of our clan to kill each other in drunken brawls. Son of Thufa, I challenge you to a duel for the position of Thane. An excited murmur rises among the guests. Kettle murmurs in a voice too low for anyone other than you and Nefja to hear. Can you believe this Bikju Sunna? It is his right to issue such a challenge. His timing could be better though. We can say we accept, we can ask him why, or we can say no. Why do you challenge me? The seed of Thane should never be passed from father to son like a sword or a horse. If our clan is to endure, we must ensure that we are ruled by the strongest and most wise among us. Alright, I accept. He nods, apparently satisfied. We will meet on Holmgang Island at noon on the morrow. May the gods favor you. Alright, cool. So he's no longer our follower. We can loot the bodies. Always loot the bodies. Never forget to loot the bodies. So we get some cloth scraps here from Toast. Nothing over there. Let's go. Valuables, herbs, and a simple spear. Yes, please. There are some boxes here. Now, these ones here, these are like resources that can be used on upgrading your like clan. It can be used to build things, like make weapons and things like that. One of the main ways you kind of use resources is in blacksmithing and making new weapons rather than necessarily buying them. So now we can talk to all of our little friends here and progress the story a bit further. So Nefja, let me fight him. So we can kind of send her as a champion, but we will say, I have to fight him myself. You know that. You have the right to ask another to fight on your behalf. If others see that a warrior is willing to risk her life for you, that is just as worthy as respect as if you beat him yourself. That is what being a Thane is all about. I might be able to find a way to tip the scales in my favor. You plan to set up a ruse. That's a good idea. Let me know if you need any help, and if you change your mind, my offer still stands. Okay. Kettle. Can't believe it came to this. A man that bitter with sons that stupid. It was just a matter of time. We can say what actually happened. I feel like the whole clan's turned against me. Let's go with that one. It feels like the clan's turned against me. These tensions have simmered for a long time. Thorfinn was a controversial Thane. Those he angered fear that you won't bring the change they desire. It's not your fault. We'll have to deal with Erlinger after the duel tomorrow. We were unquestionably in the right tonight, but we dealt a great blow to Erlinger. Time will tell. Okay, Hrodgar. Dark eyes size you up under elaborately braided hair. There is something mysterious and dangerous about this woman. You made short work of those mules. Man after my own heart. How's that? Nobody fucks with me and lives. You seem to be similarly inclined. I must admit I enjoyed it. She smiles, and you're reminded of the snake in Skull's banner. Ooh, you enjoyed it, did you? Good for you. Might want to keep that sort of thing to yourself in the future, though. Subtlety will take you far, even around here. I'm glad I had a chance to meet you now. I'm sure this won't be the last time we see each other. She holds her cup in a salute, then slithers away into the crowd without asking your leave. All right, let's talk to Mum. Your mother wraps you in a warm embrace. There is a hint of tears in her eyes. You fought well, my child. Your father would be so proud. The clan is at war with itself. Was father really such a poor thane? He was always more a warrior than a leader, but he was no worse than most. This isn't really about him. It's about ambition and greed. There'll be another fight tomorrow, Mother. I know. Aslithia is a skilled warrior. You would do well to make some preparations. What can I do? It may not seem like it right now, but most of our clan remains loyal to us. If nothing else, then because they prefer you as a thane over Aslithia. Go to Hulda in the bog and ask her for help. She is old and wise, and she has many ways to weaken a man. Poison. I'll say good idea. A drop of poison might do the trick. Should take the wind out of him, yes, and he would still have to respect your victory. But you don't have to stop there. Sigridir might have an idea. She's good at setting traps for creatures in the forest. She may know of a trap large enough for a man. Other than that, Kveldivir might be willing to give you some better equipment. You shouldn't go into the duel with those old weapons your dad gave you for training. Okay, something to prove. We can go talk to the... we've got optional. We've got a few different things we can do. Let's just talk to the smith and see whether we can get some better weapons. The smith has retreated into the familiar confines of his workshop, where he's engaged in an energetic discussion with his wife, Dag Hidir. They break it up when they see you come in, and his wife wanders off to find someone else with whom to gossip. So, Erlinger finally lost control of his idiot sons, did he? Glad to see you made it out of that mess in one piece. It's been a long time coming. Seems like everyone anticipated the attack except for me. We can talk about the duel. We'll say it's been a long time coming. His feud with your father has been boiling since they were both young. He's spent a long time passing that animosity onto his children, the bitter old fool. I wish you hadn't had to kill them, but under the circumstances, I'm not sure how it could have been avoided. Alright, we got a duel tomorrow. Is there anything you can do to help me? I've heard. Sorry, my boy. I'm not getting involved. I've known you both since you were small children. He used to help me out in the smithy. I won't have either of your blood on my conscience. I don't plan to kill him. I just have to beat him to defend my seat. The smith crosses his massive arms and shakes his head. Such things rarely go according to plan. In the heat of the moment, with a sword in your hand, I won't be responsible. The decision is final. Okay, so we got some skill checks we can use. We can use our sense to say, deny my request will not keep him safe. It will only put me in danger. We can use leadership to say, he's a strong warrior. I need him and his axe to defend the clan from our enemies. But our clan is safer and stronger with me in charge. Let's do that one. He crosses his arms and squints at you for a long moment. Then he releases a sigh. He does have a poor head for tactics, but I will not give you steel to swing against him. However, I can help you stay safe. Here, let me get you a good set of sturdy quilted armor. It'll serve you better than that shirt you're wearing. He disappears into the back of his shop and re-emerges with a thick quilted shirt in his hands. He presents it to you with a solemn nod. This is the best I can do to aid you. If the fight goes well, you can keep it. Thank you, Kalfadir. Just be careful out there. With that, Kveldivir seems to decide he's done enough smithing for today and starts the nightly ritual of meticulously putting his tools back into their place. Cool. We got a suit of armor. There we go. And we are equipped with some quilted armor. Fantastic. Okay, now, we're at about that time we're gonna start wrapping it up. But there are a few things that I haven't really been able to show off right at this initial point in the game. And the fact is, you build out your kind of repertoire of characters that follow you around, but you also have your homestead here. So your home base, your longhouse, you can build additional buildings that add, see here, we can build some farms that will add prosperity to our base camp. We can build palisades and banners and things. And we use the resources we collect along the way to add these. These things will do stuff like whether they'll add stuff that allow us to craft weapons and armor, or passive income, where, for example, this one, if we were to get more farms and to increase them, every night, every tick, we will actually get some resources that come in to our settlement, into our base, which is really cool. It's got a really cool feel that you can kind of increase your prosperity and your power of your homestead and your overall clan. You also you have reputation with the various factions you come across throughout the game, and there is a very, very large world map. The way this game essentially works is it starts out where you are on your main island, and you move between various areas trying to rebuild your clan and form alliances amongst the Vikings before you eventually build your longship and you travel across to England, where you continue to form alliances and kind of decide whether you're invading or what you are doing over as you try to get your riches and follow various quest lines over there. It is a very cool game with a very cool story, with really fun combat, intriguing characters, a good character progression system, and a really well-written, well-thought-out story. So there's a lot to love in this game. I don't know why. For me, I passed over it for a long time. I think it might have something to do with the art style. I know we always say, not the art style of the game, but the art style of the basically the landing page and the cover of the game. I know they say don't judge a book by its cover, but I think I did. Every time I saw it, I was like, looks okay, but doesn't really grab me. It didn't connect with me that this would be like a tactical RPG that would be story driven. I thought it was kind of just more of a combat simulator, I guess, for the most part. And I think as well, the title being Expeditions Vikings, and the fact that it is part of a series. There's Expeditions Rome, which is a fantastic game, and I will show that off at another point, made me think it was kind of something where I had to have played other ones. Not that it was a standalone game in and of itself. I can't describe it better than that, but for whatever reason it was, I'm really glad that I managed to get over that initial reaction, because I really enjoyed my playthrough of this game and my journey with it, and I highly recommend it for anyone that really enjoys those kind of squad-based, tactical turn-based RPGs with really good stories. Anyway, this has been Sidequest Gaming. Thank you so much for spending the time with me. I really do appreciate it. As always, if you enjoy the content that I make, please consider liking and subscribing. Really does help me out. Really makes a big difference to me personally. And as always, have an amazing day, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.